Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Gift and welcome to Gift and Couture. So in today's story I'll be sharing with you how to draft a lapel jacket. Okay, so it's actually a dress. This particular style is a dress, so let's get into it. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to mark 4 inches, and that 4 inches is what we are going to be using for the lapel. So since it's a dress, we are going to be marking it all the way down. All right, and please, if this is your first time of coming across my channel, let me use this opportunity to beg you to please subscribe to my channel. This is the only way you can support me. All right, and to my old subscribers, thank you so much. So let's go. So after that, you're going to roll the lines together. So when you are done, you are going to go ahead and divide your shoulder into two. So before you are going to divide your shoulder into two, you are going to mark 1.5 after marking your shoulder slope. So this is what I mean. Divide your shoulder into two, all right, and then mark 1.5. So that 1.5 is going to be for your shoulder slope, okay? So when you are done, go ahead and connect the lines. So when on that line, you're going to go up by half an inch. That half an inch is going to be for your shoulder joining, and then you're going to go ahead to connect it like this. So from there, you're going to place your tape rule like this, and then from there, go ahead, measure your bust point, your half length, and then your hip length. Now to get your hip length, you're going to place the tape rule from your half length, just like what you're going to be seeing. Place it on your half length and extend it downward by 8 inches. So that 8 inches is going to be your hip length. All right, so when you're done, go ahead and connect the lines just like this. The next measurement is to go ahead and divide your bust span. So on the line where you mark 4 inches, so you're going to divide your bust span into two. For me, my bust span is 8, so I'll be dividing it into two, which is 4. So I'm going to mark it on the bust line down to the dress length. Okay, so please note the first line is your bust point. This is your bust point. Next thing is your waist length, your hip length, and then the last one is the dress length. All right, on the waist length you are going to share half an inch on both sides. That's going to be your that means you are dividing 1 inch into two, so you're going to be sharing half an inch on both sides, and when you are done, go ahead and connect it just like what you are seeing on the screen. So when you are done connecting, it should look like this. Okay, so next thing is to go ahead to your shoulder length and place your tape rule there, extend it downward. This time around you're going to divide your bust into 6 and add 1.5 to it. So whatever you have, you're going to mark it and then place your tape rule on the bust lines upward like this, and then mark the same measurements. So when you are done, you're going to connect it, and this particular measurement, this line that you just drawn, is called your across chest. So on that line, you're going to divide your across chest measurement into two. What if you don't know how to measure your across chest measurement? Just minus half an inch from your shoulder measurement and then mark on it. So when you are done, go ahead and connect it just like this. And then on that across chest, you're going to divide your bust measurement into 4 and mark. Okay, go ahead and divide your bust into 4 and then mark. Now so on your bust point, you're going to divide your bust measurement into 4 and then mark it. And now the distance between your bust measurement to your across chest, you're going to divide it by 4 and then mark it. So distance from your shoulder down to your across chest measurement, whatever you have, you're going to divide it into 2. And on that line, you're going to go in by 0.5 and then go ahead and connect it either with your free hand or with your French cuff. All right, so now that you are done, let's go to the waist and cross check our measurement. Now to take your waist measurement, we are going to go ahead and minus that middle dart, the dart that we inserted there. So now you are going to go ahead and place your tape rule from that straight line, mark it away from there. Whatever you have, you continue and then mark your waist measurement, or you can just divide your waist measurement into 4 and then add the dart. Okay, but make sure you leave the dart there, okay, because you are going to cut the dart out. Okay, so when you are done, you're going to connect it to your bust measurement. So On the hip length, you are going to go ahead and divide your hip measurement into 4 and then mark it. So when you are done, the same measurement you have on the hip length, you are going to take it downward, and when you are done, you are going to go ahead and connect it. Like I said, you are going to take the same measurement you have on the hip length downward because of how the style is, and we are not going to reduce by the side because it's kind of flare. But if you watch this video to the end, you see what I'm going to, because we are going to slash this paper at the end of the day. Okay, so because it's going to be a princess dart, on that midpoint where you mark your armhole, you are going to connect your dart, your bust band dart, all right, to that midpoint, just like what I'm going to be doing. All right, so go ahead and do exactly like this. So with this, we've already created a princess dart, but if you leave it like this, the armhole is going to bulge, like the chest area is going to bulge. So we are going to go ahead and minus 0.2 on this side, 0.2 on that side, making total of 0.5 inch, and then we are going to go ahead and connect it, because if you do it like this, the armhole will be able to relax properly. So now that we are done, we are going to go to the neck. So to get the neck measurement, I use 3 inches. So 3 inches, you are going to come down by same 3 inches or 3.5. So actually use 3 inches just to get the neck depth. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and connect it. I'm going to go ahead to create a box like this. So go ahead and do the same thing. So next measurement is to create a lapel line for our buttons. So this depends on how you want it, but based on the style, we are going to be using our bust pan. Let me use my bust pan as where I want the flap to be, like the collar, okay, the lapel collar to stop. So from there, I'm going to go ahead and add the buttons bracket, which is 1.5. All right, so I'll just go ahead and mark it all the way down, and then when I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and connect it together, but make sure it stops at the bust point. If this is your first time of doing something like this, you just have to be careful, but follow this method. So on that bust point, you're just going to go ahead and create this line like this. That's the first stage. Then the next stage, if you don't necessarily need to use this straight ruler, but if you have a French curve that is not broken like mine, it's not straight, you can use it. But the reason I used this ruler was because my French curve is broken, so I'm still going to show you how to do it. So I had to take half of this French curve to connect it. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect it from the neckline. You can see the way I'm doing. Place your ruler on the neckline and then connect it to where the placket is. Let it stop there. This is how wide your lapel collar is going to be. So next thing is to go ahead and measure how wide you want the lapel collar to be. So you're going to place it on this line like this. So I'll be using 4 inches, and then I'll go ahead and mark it. But please note where I marked the 4 inches and where I stopped. You can see I stopped where I actually marked the neck depth. Okay, so you're going to stop it there. On a norm, I'm supposed to extend this neckline by 4 inches. Like I'm still going to do it anyway, just that I didn't have enough pattern paper. I had to manage this one. All right, so we are going to go ahead and connect this line together. All right, so when you are done, it should look like this. Remember, based on how this style is, okay, that's why the lapel collar is not really big. But in a situation where you come across a jacket that the lapel is big, you can, from this method, if this is your first time of doing it, you can decide to enlarge the lapel, all right, the collar. Okay, so now next thing, let's go to the backs, because we'll be using the back neck to determine the extension of the front neckline. Okay, but just watch. The first thing I did was to connect the across chest, the bust, the waistline, and the hip line. So on the waistline, this is the waistline, you're going to minus 0.7 from it. This is to let the lapel collar lay flat on your back. All right, So just like you are removing zip bolt, you are going to go ahead and remove this dart from here. So from there, you are going to go ahead and divide your bust span into two. And just like the way I did, you're going to place your tape rule just like that and then divide it into two. And on the hip line, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to extend this bust span measurement down to the dress length. Okay, so now that you are done, on the waistline you are going to go ahead and minus half an inch on both sides. All right, and then go ahead to connect the darts together. This half an inch that, okay, sharing on both sides actually works for almost everybody. Okay, so you are going to go ahead and connect it just like this. You can see the way I connected the dart. Okay, so on the across chest measurement, but for the back note is called the across back, you're going to divide your across back measurement into two, and on the shoulder line you're going to divide your shoulder line into two, shoulder measurement into two, and then come down by 1.5, just like the way I did for the front. Okay, and now to get the neck depth, you are going to be using, because it has to be high, you are going to be using 1.5, and then the neck width is going to be 3 inches, just like the way we use for the front. So when you are done, you are going to connect the shoulder to the across back measurement, and then go ahead, divide your across back measurement into two, and then mark it, then measure your bust point on it, and then mark as well. Okay, so when you are done, go ahead and connect it. Now the distance between the across, you can see that's my across back, and then the distance between the across back and your bust point, divide it into two. Remember, for the front you divide it into four, but for the back you divide it into two. When you're done, connect the together, and on your bust point divide your bust measurement into four, and then mark it. On your waistline you are going to minus that 0.7 dart, and then divide your waist into four, but remember you are going to minus this dart. Okay, so this is how you are going to do: minus from that dart to where this other dart stop, pick it up from there, minus this dart, and then go ahead and measure your actual waist measurement, and then mark it. Please note, this particular pattern there is no seam allowance. You are going to put the seam allowance at the end of the class. Okay, now on your hip line you are going to go ahead and divide your hip measurement into four, and then mark it. So on your dress length like this, you're going to go ahead and do the same thing, right, bringing your hip measurement downward, and then when you are done you are going to go ahead and connect it. So next thing is to measure the neck of the circumference of your neck. Like I said, this is what we are going to be using to extend the front neck collar. Okay, so now I've gone ahead to add to this. Okay, I've extended the pattern paper just like this. Now let's go ahead and cross check the neck circumference of the bag. So you're going to go ahead and measure the neck circumference. So let's go ahead and measure this one. This is 3.5, and that 3.5 we are going to place it. You can see the way I place the tape rule on where you mark your shoulder and extend it upward. All right, so when you are done, you're going to go ahead and connect the lines. All right, so next thing is to go ahead, after connecting the lines, you can't leave it like this. Because it has to slip on your neck, you are going to minus half an inch from that, and then connect it like this. Okay, so that the collar will be able to relax properly. All right, on your neck. So when you are done, you are going to leave it like this. And now remember, we have 3.5, so the line that we just draw is 4 inches, because we are going to join the collar. So now to get that opening, you are going to go ahead and use either 1 inch or 1.2. so I'll be using 1.2 from this neck line. Okay, you are going to go ahead and mark it, just stop it there. Okay, but make sure it's aligned with that lapel, with the placket line. Okay, just like the way you have whatever you have on the neckline, that's for the lapel collar. You're going to extend it upward. You're going to use the same measurement. Okay, next thing is to go ahead and connect it from this line to where you mark the 1.2. Okay, so just like this, you are done cutting your lapel collar. You can see it's not really hard if you follow this method. So in order for us, like I said, Please use your French curve for this curvy shape. Also, I'll be using my hand to shape it just like this. So just like this, we are done cutting the collar, the lapel collar. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and retake the measurement to know if it's too much. Like I said, if the collar is 3.5, you are going to use 4 inches, and I noticed it was more than that, so I'm going to go ahead and reduce it. Okay, so now that I'm going to reduce it, next thing is to go ahead and cut it out. All right, so let's go ahead and cut it out. You can see I was still shaping it for it to have that curvy effect. All right, so now that we are done, we are going to go ahead and cut it out. Please, if you watched this video to this point, I beg of you, please, if this is your first time of coming across my channel, do well to subscribe so you can always get notifications whenever I post new videos, and also to support my channel, because that's the only way you can support me. All right, and don't forget to like, share this video with your friends, drop a lovely comment, and thank you so much for doing that. But look at how I cut this pattern, okay, and follow this method. Okay, so let's go ahead and add seam allowance. So make sure you add half an inch, okay, all the way, and then this for the front. Then for the back, you are going to add half an inch. Please make sure you maintain half an inch. All right, and on the shoulder of the bag, I went ahead to add half an inch for the shoulder joining. You can see the way I connected the shoulder. So next thing is to go ahead and cut it out. Like I said, please subscribe to my channel. All right, thank you so much. Thank you. So now that I've gone ahead to cut it, I'm going to slash it for you to see. So in case, like I said, there is no seam allowance here. All right, you are going to be the one to add seam allowance. So if you've watched this video to this point, I have already uploaded a sewing tutorial on how to sew a jacket. I'm going to drop the video, the picture at the end of this channel, okay, at the end of this video, for you to know the one I'm talking about. Okay, so now that you are done, you can see you have to label it add seam allowance. So I've gone ahead to cut out the dart. You're going to go ahead and do the same thing as well. All right, like I said, we are going to slash this pattern paper based on the style that we have, okay, because it's not a straight from the waist downward. It's not straight, it's kind of a little loose. So for the neckline, we are going to go ahead and cut out this collar out. Okay, so just like this, let me show you how it's going to look like after sewing. You are going to fold this lapel like this after you finish sewing, and then you are going to fold it. Okay, the thing is, if you watch this video, after watching this video, and then you go ahead to watch the other video on how to sew this jacket, you understand what I'm saying and how to fix all this. Okay, so go ahead, and when you fix it, this is how it's going to look like. You can see that space there. You are going to get all these things done. All right, so now that we are done, this is the front. Let's go ahead and slash it. So to slash it, you are going to take it down to your princess dart, and then remove the dart as well. Remember, you are removing the dart. There are two methods to this on how to slash this. I'm going to show you. This is the front one, and I'm still going to show you the back one. So it depends on how you want it. So now that I'm done cutting it out, so I'll go ahead and slash the side. Okay, you can see now, if you join this, everything will be relaxed on you, but because it's not a fitted suit, we are going to go ahead and slash the side of this pattern paper. All right, so let's watch on how to do it. So we are slashing this side pattern paper. All right, so first thing, you are going to go ahead and divide your waist measurement into two. Okay, divide it into two, and then the length measurement, where the dress length is, you are going to go ahead and divide it into two as well. Alright, so when you are dividing into two, when you are done, go ahead and connect the lines together. Is to go ahead and cut through the paper and stop at the waist level, okay, because that's where you connected the lines to. So when you are done, you're going to cut it like this. Now if you leave it like this, you won't be able to slash it properly. So next thing is to go ahead and slash through it to this point, but make sure you don't cut it out. Please stop somewhere in the middle and then go ahead and cut through this one as well. You can see the way I cut it. Please do not cut it out. All right, so just stop there. With this, you'll be able to know how wide you want it to be. Remember, the dress, the style, this very style that we are working on is not really flared, but it's not really fitted, you get, but it's not that very loose, too loose rather. Okay, so you're just going to go ahead and determine how wide you want it to be. All right, so with this, let's just assume we are going to be using 4 inches, and then next thing is to go ahead and use your masking tape to tape the waist down. We are going to do it on this side and on the other side. Now if you have enough paper, you can slide another pattern paper under this opening that you are seeing, but if you don't have, you are going to go ahead and pin it on your fabric. All right, so go ahead and pin it on your fabric, but make sure you tape this side down. Like I said, you are going to go ahead and pin it on your fabric. All right, so when you are done, you are going to go ahead and add your seam allowance. On the other side, you're going to go ahead and add your joining allowance, okay, which is half an inch. On the seam allowance, you can add 1 inch or 1.5 depending on how you want it, okay. So if you don't want to go through this stress of slashing, removing the dart, you can follow this method. Just cut through the paper. You can see the dart is still there. We are not removing the dart. And then when you get to the waist length, you are going to go ahead and slash it like this, okay, and then go ahead and do the same thing as well, and you are still going to go ahead and open it. And if you want the back to also be a princess dart, you can go ahead and follow the same method by dividing the distance from the shoulder to where the armhole is, mark it into 2 and then connect it to the other side. But note, for the back, you are not going to remove any dart on the armhole side, okay. The reason we know the front is different from the back, so please note you are not going to remove any dart. So when you are done slashing, you are going to go ahead and tape it down just like this. And if you are going to cut your lining, okay, now if you want to sew it, you can sew it from that point downward, okay, but you are not going to sew all the dart. You are going to sew it from that dart downward to like 4 inches or 5 inches, okay. So but I would prefer you go for the first one. All right, so now that we are here, we want to cut the lining. The lining should be shorter than the fabric itself by 3 inches, okay, and then that's it. And if you're going to be using stay, your stay should stop at your half length, okay, should stop there. And if you're using paper stay, should stop at the half length as well, okay. So thank you so much for watching, and please make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed, okay. So bye, see you in my next video.